Hi, everybody. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Tanya, and I talk a lot about narcissistic parents and the impact on children. Maybe you've already decided that one of your parents was likely narcissistic, and you're trying to figure out what does this actually look like? Which of their behaviors are actually narcissism leaning, and which ones are maybe just normal parenting behaviors? I hope that this content clears things up a little bit as far as the many ways that narcissism can show up or manifest in our parents. Everybody has a bad day. This is not about bad days. This is about patterns. And when these behaviors become the norm in your life, that's when they start to cast long shadows into our adulthood. We've all had many different experiences. Many of them seem similar, but they're very different behaviors. I'm going over 7 different traits and common phrases associated with each. Let me know in the comments below if any of these sound familiar or if you saw a variation of them. It's not only helpful to myself, but it's helpful to anyone else watching this and looking for similarities in other people's experiences. First up is the enabling facade. To the outside world, they will make it seem like everything they do is about their children. In public, they will be fully supportive, fully almost like the perfect parent. And then at home, they become a nightmare. This shows that they know exactly how they're supposed to behave, what a good parent looks like on the surface. But it also shows that their real self is quite different. They might be cruel. They might make jokes at your expense. They might make passive aggressive jabs about how you embarrass them. Common phrases for the enabling facade would be things like, everyone says I'm such a great parent. And I agree, you're just trying to make me look like a bad parent. It's such a shame you can't appreciate what I do for you. So if you experience that two-faced parent where it seemed like they could put on the act like that and then turn it off the moment they needed to put you in your place, that is a sign. To shield yourself, build a support group. Surround yourself with friends or mentors who see your value. The second trait that we're going to talk about is the constant critic. I think we all know that parents can be critical. There is a line on what is normal criticism and what is unhealthy criticism. Their advice comes with care and concern that's actually completely fake. So they criticize and cut you down to make themselves feel better. They'll tell you that they didn't make mistakes like you did when they were growing up. They'll make you feel like you should be doing something else constantly. What you're doing is never going to be good enough for these critical parents. They'll say things like, well, if you really cared about this, you wouldn't be making mistakes. You are capable of so much more. What's wrong with you? You call that effort, you need to aim higher. Are you really going to wear that? You're never going to get anywhere in life if you keep acting that way. You just always find a way to disappoint me. Why can't you be more like your cousin? I'm only telling you this because I care. By them always criticizing us, we are likely to take that into adulthood and criticize ourselves. You can be a supportive parent in a positive way, an encouraging way. It also teaches us that our own standards about ourselves matter less than theirs. So even if we think that we've done our best on something, they're going to say it's not good enough. And we are going to constantly question whether our version of our best is going to work for everybody else. That is a big message. It's okay that our self-esteem is almost like a muscle that we need to work out sometimes, especially if we've had a narcissistic parent. So go easy on yourself, please. The third trait that we see in narcissistic parents is emotional unavailability. This can be a really subtle sign of narcissism. Some of us can relate to this, where a narcissistic parent of ours is so caught up in what they're doing that they're really never present for their children. Their love is conditional and distant. They really aren't there for you or your feelings. They don't really care how anybody else feels except for themselves. Some of the phrases of the emotionally unavailable parent will be, I just don't have time for your feelings right now. You always pick the worst times. I have very important things to do. Can this wait? Oh, you're too sensitive. You need to toughen up. Are you in a mood again? You always exaggerate your problems. Hey, I did what I could. Stop expecting so much. You have to figure this out on your own. Well, you'll understand when you're older. Some of these can sound totally normal because parents do have to sometimes say these things to their children, but they become a pattern and they become a problem. The message here is that your feelings are inconvenient and invalid, and it's painful. The fourth trait of a narcissistic parent is the need for adoration. They want to be the hero, they want to be the savior, they want credit for anything that's positive. They want all of the attention, the spotlight, they demand constant validation. It's ultimately all about their glory, their achievements, and everything everybody else does around them is kind of sitting in the shadows. So they'll say things like, if I hadn't pushed you, you wouldn't have gotten into college. I'm so glad you followed my advice. Of course, they'll throw in the martyr of, I've sacrificed everything for you. These phrases weaponize guilt to maintain emotional control. It's very manipulative. You don't need to compete. They want it to be all about them. They need that validation so badly. So we come last. A lot of these traits are going to be side by side. They're going to be shown one day to the next. They might all show in one parent depending on the circumstances. I have really appreciated everybody's comments on prior videos, and it just goes to show what a wide range of experiences we can have. If this has been helpful, I would appreciate you hitting the like button and dropping a comment below. The fifth trait of a narcissistic parent is gaslighting. This parent makes us question our own reality day by day. They tell us things didn't happen as we remember them. They tell us that things were completely our fault that weren't our fault. And they twist things around so much and create so much chaos with their lies that they actually get away with convincing us that things are true that are not true. Here are some phrases. You always twist things around to make me look bad. You're not remembering things correctly. Hey, you're the one that caused the problem. That's not on me. They might minimize your experiences by saying, you're being overdramatic. It's all in your head. You're just making a big deal out of nothing. The tip for this, hold on to your truth and your experiences by keeping a record of them. You deserve to have your own narrative and your own experience without someone else trying to come along and cover your head with a cloth and send you into fairyland. This is very much Wizard of Oz type things. No, don't, there's nothing here. This is all what I'm saying it is. Just trust me. We do not trust you. No. We are nearing the end. 2 more to go. Trait number 6 of a narcissistic parent is going to be playing the victim. This is the parent who turns every situation into somehow them suffering. If your parent played the victim, they probably depended on you to give them comfort. This victim mentality in a parent actually parentifies us as kids. And what that means is it turns us into the emotional parent, where we are trying to comfort our parent and make them feel good about themselves, make them feel validated. And those are things that parents should be doing for their own children. So they switch roles when they become the victim. And if you have a parent who goes to the victim mindset a lot and then expects you to come in and comfort them and help them make sense of the situation, that is an unfair deal. So they say things like, well, you have no idea what I've been through. Nobody appreciates my sacrifices. I did the best that I could, and it'll never be good enough. Everything I do is for you. You had a great childhood, especially compared to mine. They constantly redirect empathy towards themselves. They're just like this bottomless cup. This can show up with that hero savior complex as well. They act like they've sacrificed so much. They will even lie. If you know, you know. They are the victim. They are not only the victim, they are the worst victim. Any story that's told is going to be one-upped by their worst story. Everybody should feel sorry for them, and nobody should judge them or criticize them because they're a victim. Your parent was the adult, and they should have let you have a childhood. Later on, as their adult children move out, everything will be wrong. Their doctors will be doing things wrong. Their friends will be mean to them. Bait, bait, bait. Come on, come on, come on. We have to be able to set clear emotional boundaries and not get sucked into their need for validation. You are allowed to share struggles without being guilted into being a caregiver for someone else. This is a little bit of a side note. For those of you with parents who ever threatened to hurt themselves, and maybe you even felt like you had to come along and rescue them and make them feel better so that they wouldn't hurt themselves, that is some of the most severe form of trauma, I believe, that a parent can give their child. What I recommend you do, if a parent does this, is to call the police and put them on watch. Call someone, please. That is not on you. The 7th and final trait of a narcissistic parent is triangulation. This is where your parent will involve a third party to pull in and bait you into doing something they want you to do or feeling something they want you to feel. For example, a narcissistic parent, like my own, might bring in your siblings to try to make you feel bad about something. They will lie to that person. They will twist facts around to give that person a very specific idea or perception about what's going on. By triangulating with someone else, whether it's a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, a pastor, a teacher, it could be an ex or a current partner, even. If your parent goes out of their way to triangulate and pull in someone else to reinforce themselves, to give them an edge, or to put you off or isolate you in some way, that is huge and that is unacceptable. Triangulation is unique in that more than once is never okay. That is a surefire way to know that they are not in it for a good relationship with you. If they really cared about the relationship with you, they would not bring in other people. It is that simple. It is 1 + 1 = 2. They will try to say that it's 4, but it is not. So, common phrases when it comes to triangulation might be, well, your sibling agrees with me, or I talked to your aunt, she's very disappointed in you, or you'll get a phone call from the aunt or the cousin or your sibling saying, why won't you XYZ? Mom says this and this. In some cases, our parents are so convincing with this triangulation method, that person might be gone for a very long time in your life because they've been tainted by that parent's perception and by their lies. If they just came as a messenger, as a flying monkey for your parent, there is no need for a conversation. Bye bye. Bye bye. But if they're wrong, put it out there that they're wrong. A tip would be to have some responses ready to say, I'm not surprised that you would have that impression after speaking with my parent. It's not true, and I have nothing else to say unless you want to hear my side. Maybe it'll actually get somewhere. But if that person then goes back and talks to your narcissistic parent, the narcissist always has a reason. They always have an excuse. They always have a lie. They've got like a pocket full of lies to pull from to say, oh, she's just being dramatic. That didn't happen that way. When someone shows that they are able to lie to someone else just to get their way, there's no going back from that. They are in it for themselves. There might not be any limit to what they will do to get their needs met. Just know where to spend your time and energy on what you can fix and what you can't. So there you have it, 7 traits that can manifest in narcissistic parents. Maybe you experienced all of these, maybe you experienced half of them, maybe they looked a little different, maybe you have one to add. But underneath all of this is narcissism, and underneath that is us as kids trying to figure out what the is going on. This is a journey and you are not alone because we are all in this together. Thank you for watching and I'll be back soon.